Hello, my name is James Woodward. I am an acupuncturist and a holistic therapist, and I am talking to you today from my clinic in Herne Bay, the Tranquility Space. And today I'm going to be talking about migraines and headaches, but more from a traditional Chinese medicine point of view, which is the background from acupuncture. Now, I have actually had quite a few people coming in for headaches and migraines over the last 4 weeks. They've come in actually, and I've treated them through massage rather than acupuncture, but they're both effective, and I've actually been using my knowledge as an acupuncturist to help them with massage, and it's been pretty successful so far. I'd like to talk to you about that and then other types of headaches from that point of view. They're not labelled in the same way. We have patterns and characteristics, which I will talk about. But first, I'll talk about what's happening now. And this relates back to a video that I did 2 weeks ago called Autumn and Chinese Medicine, or the other way around. But anyway, look it up and watch that as well, because it will help you understand what I'm just about to say. So now we are in autumn. We're moving closer and closer towards winter, and with these change of seasons you get different things happening. So at the moment we've got more wind coming in, and God, we definitely know that. I mean, what's been happening throughout the world actually has been quite huge, strong winds. Now I live right by the coast, so it's very, very open, and as a result a lot of people have their necks open. When I go outside, I normally wear a buff just to cover the whole of my my neck. And what happens is you get exposure to the wind and the cold together, and that's called wind cold. This creates a contraction of the muscle, and it gets in as an exterior pathogenic factor, which is the term we use in Chinese medicine. And as it creates a contraction, it then often you get like a pain right across the neck here, and then it can move right up. You've got two factors here. You've got the connective tissue, which moves right here and right down to about here, which means it's going to affect the eyes or the front or even the top of the head. And you've also got the gallbladder meridian. It's got nothing to do with the actual gallbladder itself. It's more to do with the fact that that's where the channel is going. And what I've been doing is I've been tracking the channel across and finding any tightness around the actual scalp from the occiput right up, obviously massaging this area here as well. And what I've found is a huge tightness in certain areas, and then kind of open up the neck and then really try and get in there with using a technique called knuckling, getting right in there. But what's been causing it is wind cold. That is actually one of the types of headaches you can get, and I've got this on here with my notes: stiffness, wind cold, which comes from the occiput right up. So the neck is quite exposed. So if you think a high hill is where you get exposure, or a mountain. I was on the top of a mountain during the summer and I got head cold. It was so cold. It was freezing. It was so windy. And it's the same thing. So we get more exposure at the top part here. So we need to cover it up. And this is one of the things that has been coming up quite regularly and I've been treating. So this is definitely something to think about. So when you know the cause, you then know how to deal with it. So now I'm going to go through different types of things you may have experienced having a headache. So there's stabbing pain, maybe a dull ache, a heaviness or a woolliness within the head, and of course there's a stiffness. So each of these have different factors involved. So with a stabbing pain, you might get it along the eyes or the top of the head. Either of those we call liver yang rising, is because we associate liver with the wood element, and wood, as you know, with trees, they rise. So with that, so if it's too much, then you get that lift of of chi, that movement, which has gone too far, and that's why it's in those areas. So the idea is to descend it. And then there's a dull ache. Now this is, rather than the last one being excess, too much, this is not enough. So a dull ache can be due to chi or blood. Now in TCM, when we say chi or blood, we're talking about the basis of everything. So that goes right back to what happens at the early stages of digestion and what happens to our food. When we talk about chi, we're also talking about a general energy and what happens to our food. So if we're deficient, if we haven't eaten enough, I don't know whether you've ever experienced it, where you've not eaten properly in the day and you've ended up with a headache, and then you eat and you feel better. So that's just an example, but on a more kind of chronic basis, this is where it starts, and then it could turn into another form of headache later on, where it progresses. But that is just an example. And then there's a heaviness or a woolliness. Now this could be due to eating too much phlegmy foods. So there's a long list of things which I can read out, which is just an example. I'm talking about just too much. So greasy foods, fried foods, milk and general dairy like cheese, yogurts, butter, cream, ice cream. You've heard that head cold feeling. Bananas, peanuts, sweets and sugar. Now anything sugary can create heat, and when you have heat and dampness, it can create phlegm. So that's another thing to take into consideration. So if eating too much chocolate and sweets can also have this effect from a long term. So something just to be aware of. And also too much consumption of sour foods. And sour foods slow down movement. And the slowing down of movement can result in the stagnation of blood. And this creates a feeling of stabbing pain, which I have described earlier. So what can be done about this? So with acupuncture, we also use heat, and there's something which is called moxa or moxibustion, which is a herb that's burnt, which creates incredible heat. And what it can do with the heat is it can actually release any stagnation in that area and allow the blood to move. Often what happens is you kind of see a redness which comes up as the heat allows the blood to kind of disperse and then flow a lot better. And the other thing is another diet aspect. So I've spoken a little bit about sour foods. So you've got the vinegar and certain sour fruits like grapefruit, lemon, and anything else similar to that, and olives as well. But other good foods to have which will help move blood. So there's garlic, cardamom and oily fish. Those are the main things to look out for, which will help. And that's it. This is quite a large subject. So if you have any questions, wherever I have posted this, whether this is YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, just put a message underneath and I'll try and answer it as soon as I can. I hope you've enjoyed this. My name is James Woodward from the Tranquility Space, Herne Bay. Thank you. Bye.